So give me a brief overview of achieving value by installing LEDs and a bit of payback.
Okay, so the first thing to do with LEDs, we don't overspec the job, because in the old days you had to have a lot of metal halide or sodium fixtures to do a job. LED are much higher output, so you can actually reduce your wattage of the LED, have a high output, or you can go to the higher output LED and reduce your luminaires, right?
Oh,
so don't overspec, that's the biggest thing. Choose the right lumens to suit the project. So every project is different. So this is a laboratory we're standing in here, yes. So it's high levels, but offices, car parks, warehouses, everything's different. So you have to choose the right lumens to suit the job.
Yep.
And then part of that is obviously choosing the Lux Levels, and we do that by going to the Australian standard and determining the job, and then choosing the Lux Level from the standard. So it's important to choose the right colour rendering as well. So depending on your job again, whether you want to see a true colour, right, or it doesn't matter, right?
So an example of that would be a colleague of mine actually has a dealership,
yep.
And he has white tiles, white walls,
yep.
But he wants to enhance the colour of the cars. So he would go to
he'd go to a high CRI, so 70 plus.
Yes.
Higher the better,
yes.
Because it's going to render a true colour of the image.
Great.
Of the car, right? So, but if he was, say your colleague had a steel works and it was just stacking steel on a shelf,
yeah.
It didn't matter, then we could use the warm white.
Okay.
Right? So it's important to do that to get those colours correct, to get the right temperature as well. So
yes.
you know, you can have a high CRI, but they might want a warmer temperature, or they might want a colder temperature. Right?
Gotcha.
So it's the visual appearance.
Right, I see. So, you know, the brighter the better for his motor vehicles, because
yep.
obviously he wants it to shine inside. So that makes a
sparkle,
lot of sense.
Yeah.
When we look at LED lighting, and I mean, as an electrical contractor for many years, we did a lot of the high pressure sodiums and things like that, yep. Not really understanding that there was a series of Australian standards that actually should have been followed to actually achieve Lux levels at certain things. And to me and the contractors that I speak to on a daily basis, I don't think they really understand that there is lighting standards. Is that?
There is. There's a whole series of Australian standards. The interior standard is AS 1680, so and that goes up to about 2.4. Mm-hmm. Then you've got your outdoor standards for like car parks, vehicle access, all that sort of stuff, which is 1158, AS 1158.
Right.
You've got all your sports, all your different sports standards, so that's AS 2560, and then there's different numbers for the different sports.
Right.
And then you've got glare and obtrusive lighting, which is AS 4282, which is controlling glare and spill lighting and things like that. So it is important that we know exactly what you're trying to achieve, and if you've got neighbours and things like that, so that we don't upset your neighbours.
So it's if someone comes to you with a lighting design, it's always good to have the actual project lighting design, but also have I'll use Google Map as a bit of a surrounding to give you an idea of the neighbourhood or things like that.
If someone comes to us for a lighting design, specifically outdoor, we're going to ask: are there roads close by? Are there houses close by? What are you trying to achieve? Is it sport? Is it industry? So we can determine the right light source, the right fixture, and whether we've got to control the spill or glare.
Okay, so if I've got a sporting field, is glare on motor vehicles that are driving past, is that an issue?
It could be an issue if the roads are close to the sporting field, right? So if it's, and it can happen a lot in lawn bowls where everything's really tucked into a small little space.
Yeah.
So, you know, you've got to control the spill and glare like that. But sometimes sporting fields are out in a paddock, which might be an old recycled dump or something. It's in the middle of nowhere, and it's not as important in that application.
So, you know, that it does show that it's really important, and that's really valuable information.